You asked for it, so we're going to deliver it. When we toured the Palm Beach Boat Show, we featured the Galeon 620 briefly, and loads of you commented and said, can you film it? So here we are. We're going to give you a full tour. And I'm about to do something that I've not been able to do on a Galeon before, which is walk from one balcony, upper level, to another. That's right. The balcony innovators at Galeon have taken it to the next level. We now have water level balconies, and that is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to innovation on board this boat. Is this the new standard setter in the 60-foot flybridge segment? Let's find out. I'm Jack Haynes. You're watching YachtBuyer. If you enjoy this content, make sure you subscribe. Don't want you missing any of our videos, so hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, and they'll always turn up on your timeline. Right, let's get into the 620 Fly, because there's even more innovation here than we expect from Galeon. We know all about the balconies, but the difference here is we've got double balconies. This boat's got more wings than the Boeing factory, and I'm actually going to wait to show you that one, because there is a very clever piece of design lurking amidships that we'll cover in a moment. But let me show you this, because now we have not only main deck balconies, but balconies down here at water level as well. And look at the amount of space that that gives you down here by the waterline. They stretch so far forward, and they've built cleats into them as well, so you can tie off your toys and your tenders. I mean, this essentially is like a tender berth right here at the waterline. And there's more functionality in the middle as well, because this is a hydraulic platform, so this sinks all the way down into the water. You've got a fixed ladder here underneath the platform, and then these steps emerge as the platform drops down into the water, so you can walk into the sea nice and comfortably. Another nice little feature, there's a bench here, so you can sit and perch with the platform down. That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it? With your toes in the water. Now this door, that's down to the crew cabin and the engine room. We're going to cover that at the end of the tour. For now, let's check out the cockpit. It's important to keep in mind that we've got all of this down here, plus a big flybridge. There is so much outdoor space to enjoy on this boat, and it's given them flexibility with this area. Now clearly this is focused as a big outdoor dining space. There's nowhere to sit and lounge in the sun here, but when you have this type of foredeck and a big flybridge, that doesn't really matter so much. So this is really just a really lovely big dining space, a bit like sort of bridge deck aft on a super yacht. It gives me that sort of feel. This table is clever because it angles like this, but it will also turn, so it will run across this way in the usual arrangement. It'll also get smaller. It rises up and down, and there's an ice box in the middle, so you can keep your wine nice and cool. What I would say is I'm not sure what you're supposed to do with these chairs when you make the table smaller. It looks great now because the table is at its biggest, but what you're supposed to do with these, because they're quite big, as the table decreases in size, is a little bit of a quandary. But I do like how far this extends, so you have the balcony area here, and a very, very good overhang with the flybridge. Gives you lots of space upstairs, but makes this a very nice shady place to have lunch. And then of course we can't ignore the big Galeon USP, which is the balcony. Now only on one side on this model, but of course you've got the balconies downstairs on this version, so that doesn't matter so much, and you still get this lovely bar, which is such a important part of the design. What's nice about this is it's shady. I'm picking up a little bit of the air conditioning as well, so on a very warm morning this is just a lovely place to sit. You can easily interact with the person in the galley, and I love the stools as well. This is a new design, very, very comfortable. Glass in the balconies as well, so you can see through to, well, the balcony below, all the water if that's not being deployed, and there's a side gate inside the balcony too, so you can walk through it if it's up. Very nicely done. Let's head to the foredeck. There's lots more fun stuff going on up at the foredeck, but there's practical stuff as well, like a side door right by the helm. We'll talk a bit more about that from inside. And then we come right up front, where this is where you do your sunbathing. A lack of that in the cockpit, but no lack at all here. These two big sun pads, which are mounted on runners, so they actually move. And you never know, you can't see any of the mechanism. If I press this button, they move outboard and inboard. So this one is as far out as it will go, so I can now walk behind it, and this one's slightly further in. Question slightly why you do it, but it gives you flexibility up here, I suppose. You can get yourself in the perfect angle to take up the sun. There's storage underneath these as well, and this bench is quite clever. It's nice that it faces in, because it makes it a little bit more sociable. No table up here, of course, because you've got the glass running down the middle for the cabin below, but this also pivots, so you can turn that I guess so you can face the sun in the perfect direction. I don't quite know why it does that, but they're giving you options up here, okay? Galeon's all about options. Anyway, it's a nice space. It could do with some decking, I think. It's pretty bright up here, though it is nice and flat, easy to move around. And of course, forward of this, we have 2 nice big anchor lockers as well. Let's head upstairs. There's more scaled down super yacht vibes here on the Flybridge as well. I said it was big, and well, look at it. Really nice separation between this open space here where you've got your sun lounges, seating in the middle, and then of course your helm station right forward. This is pretty flexible. You know, I don't know how handy it is to have so much freestanding furniture, because you've got to do something with this when the boat's moving along and they slide around all over the place. But certainly when it's stationary, that looks a very pleasant place to lie and soak up the sun. And you have got a pop out canopy here, so you can get some shade over it if you want as well. Big substantial hardtop. Hasn't got a sunroof. Rivals to this boat will give you either a vane style sunroof or a canvas one, but this is fixed. Solid roof above, great for shade, but obviously you can't open it up if you want to. The bar, however, well, is huge. This is a really, really good size. Big enough to have 2 grills, sink, cool box, fridges underneath. I like the way it kind of wraps around, makes it a bit more of a feature, and it's obviously directly opposite the dinette, which is another nice size space. Comfortable seats, you know, these have to fill 2 roles. Somewhere where you want to sit and enjoy the weather, but also this is where you might dine. So you need to sit up straight and have your food, and for that these are a little bit low, and there isn't much space on this side, so getting chairs between here and the bar isn't going to be particularly easy. But they've got the get out of jail free card, because they've got that seating space downstairs for dining. Though it is lovely and breezy up here. It's one of the reasons people like Flybridges. We're in the confines of the show, but up here the breeze is trickling over, which is absolutely lovely. Over on this side, lots of nice seating. Another nice shady place to sit when the boat's stationary, but also nice that people can gather around here and sit next to the helm when the boat's moving along. Just means that the person driving isn't in isolation when they're up here. And yeah, this is just really lovely and comfortable. Again, nice and shady, a place you're just gonna sit and relax and take in the view. And then of course the helm, important part of this whole Flybridge thing. I like the blue finish. What do you make of that? It's a little bit shiny, but I quite like it. It's not just black scratchy plastic like it so often is on boats like this. It looks quite funky. Single MFD on this boat. I would definitely have another one there, but my controls fall to hand really quite easily. Wheels nice and close to me, that adjusts. Throttles fall to hand easily. Yeah, major controls are all within easy reach. This bench is fixed, and when I sit back, I completely lose sight of the bow, so you will probably find yourself perching on the edge like this, which isn't ideal. When you're coming into berth, you can stand quite comfortably here. You've got a reasonable all-round view, but we'll talk a bit more about engine options and things like that downstairs. Let's head down. A couple of things to point out when you first come into the saloon. The doors are split arrangement, so that bifolds and opens up like that. Then it closes, you put this up and fully seals off this area, but it is quite nice. When it's all open, this drops down and does connect these 2 spaces quite nicely. And then in this section, you have a TV. Neither of these are one touch, which is a bit annoying, so you have to stand here with your thumb like this. And this isn't two-way, so it faces into the cockpit, but it doesn't mean you can watch TV when you're outside, and there is another TV inside, which we'll get to in a moment. But yeah, I'd much rather I could just press this once and up it goes. I won't even bother. Into the galley. This is a really good size. Loads and loads of countertop. Obviously extends even further when the doors are open and this section is up. And I really like the interior dinette, not an afterthought. A good size. If you're stuck inside dining, you've got plenty of space to do it. What isn't such a good size is the fridge. That is really pretty pokey for a boat of this size. When you consider how many people you can sleep on board, I think if you're on board for, you know, a week or so, you're going to struggle to keep enough food cold in a fridge that size. Up here, you've got your switchboard, breakers, generator control, nice and close to the cockpit door. That's quite convenient. And then we've got some quite useful bottle storage here as well, neatly hidden away down there. In fact, the galley is pretty well stocked, apart from having a small fridge, nice big sink. Got this nice large 4-burner hob, dishwasher, that sort of thing. And then, I quite like this design, sort of separation here, using this partition between the sort of dining and seating area. This is an interesting piece of design. This sofa is all sorts of different shapes, so you can sort of lounge like this. But over here, it's much more shallow, so you're perched, but this is where the TV is. So the other TV pops up from here, like the other one, it's not a one-touch. But that faces this sofa, which is a slightly odd shape, but at least you've got this nice big crash area here where you can lean down, just about see the TV. But it's not the traditional way to have the TV mounted on a boat like this, of course. But importantly, this is where we also find the lower help. Something I should have mentioned on deck is that the layout is actually asymmetric on the main deck. you have no side deck halfway up the port side. There's a little section here, but you can't get all the way along. So that's how you've got all this beam in here. And that's why this side door becomes even more important, because you're going to want to get out there onto the side deck and move fore and aft down the boat. I don't think day to day you'll notice it too much, but you'll definitely be favouring berthing on the starboard side. And you can do that down here pretty comfortably. 2 engine options, Volvo or MAN. All shaft drive, either 1000 horsepower Volvos, 1200 horsepower MANs, top speed of either 30 or 27 knots. We'll cruise at 23, 24 knots either way. But the crucial thing is I can pop this door open and I'm out onto the side deck really easily. The rest of the helm, it's clean, it's pretty focused, there's not many buttons, most of it's all contained within the 2 Raymarine MFDs. You've got Galeon digital switching system here as well, so you can really easily see the boat's functions from within the MFD itself, which is nice. Couple of switches down here for things like wipers and the horn, that type of thing, and the chairs are really nice. Besson's-only, fully adjustable, nice footrest, so you should be able to get yourself nice and close to the helm, sit back and cruise comfortably at that 20 knot speed. The view forward is very good. I mean, you can see the size of the windscreen, it comes back quite a long way. The mullions are pretty thick, but you've got these big quarter lights, so you should just be able to poke your head down and make sure there's nothing coming out on the starboard side. View aft, it's okay, because they haven't got solid partitions. I can peek around pretty easily and check behind me, and of course you'll have cameras as well. But I would imagine most of the manoeuvring will be done from up on the flybridge. Let's head downstairs and look at the accommodation. Now, there's some interesting layout options down here. You can have it with 3 or 4 cabins. This particular boat's got the 3 cabin arrangement, so you have a VIP right forward, a twin on the starboard side, and then a full beam owner's cabin amidships. But you can have 4 cabins and add a bunk cabin on this side if you want to as well. But I suggest, if you want to look at that in detail, go to yachtbuyer.com. You can look at photos, technical specs, look at all the layouts in great detail, and compare this to its rivals and other models within the Galeon range. Right, what do we actually have down here? Well, moving forward, the first door you come to is the day head, but it's more than the day head because it also serves as the bathroom to the twin. So this has direct access from the cabin into the bathroom there, which is big enough to have a separate shower cubicle. It's a pretty decent size. It's pretty narrow between these berths. However, these are on runners, so you can make this into a big double, giving you a little bit of flexibility in here. I like the decor. The paneling around us is nice. The stainless steel strips, the lighting up on the wall, it's quite attractive. And you've got a decent portion of hull window, so natural light is decent. Headroom, pretty good. Plenty of room above my head, it's 6 feet tall, and there's a nice big hanging locker behind the door too. Moving forward, we find the VIP. I do like this decor. These white doors are very sort of beachy, aren't they? And it really brightens up this area because this is slightly narrow because we're accounting for some more bathrooms. Right forward into the VIP. Lovely big bright space this. Again, headroom's excellent. We saw the glass up on the foredeck, didn't we? And this is the benefit. All of this sunlight pouring down into this space is really nice. And again, some lovely detailing. How the lighting there sort of flickers up from behind the bedhead. That's very nice. You have got an opening hatch, no opening ports, but of course we're working the air conditioning at the moment. It's a very nice temperature down here. A bit of storage on either side, hanging lockers too, and then a TV mounted up on the bulkhead. And this cabin has a totally private bathroom. Put my head in there so you can see the scale of it. It's not enormous, but they have given quite a lot of space to the shower cubicle, which is pretty important. If you're washing in there, you've got the space to do it. And you've got a nice rainfall shower too. But the star of the show, and the little special surprise, is in the owner's cabin. Come on then, let's wait no more. Let's have a look at this very special owner's cabin. It's a really nice space this. You drop down into the area where the bed is to maintain headroom, which as you can see is still pretty good. Again, they've gone to town on all the detailing behind the bedhead, but I like it. It's better than just having a plain piece of laminate there. I think that looks really nice. And you've got nice big bedside tables, all your repeater switching for the lighting so you can control everything from the bed too. There's a little bit of storage down here. There's a sofa here as well. So you can sit and watch the TV on the sofa or from the bed, of course. Over on the other side, we're up a little step and we get to the bathroom. And that's why the passageway is so narrow, because the bathrooms meet here, the one for the VIP and this one, they extend a long way down. But it does give you a nice amount of space in these en-suites. Again, big separate shower cubicle, I like the way the sink is integrated, a bit more space to move around in here as well. And again, the white paneling looks really, really smart. But just after the bureau, what's that? I hear you say, why can I hear the trickling of water? Well, let me show you. That teak staircase out of this door and straight onto your balcony is just not something you expect to see on a boat in this sector or many sectors at all really. That is genuinely a fantastic bit of innovation, and I really like how it just turns to teak as you come out the cabin and sort of sets the tone of the fact you're going to be outside in a moment. Imagine being in a quiet anchorage, waking up, the balconies are down, you open the door and you're straight out for a swim from your cabin on a boat of this size and price. It is remarkable. Galeon once again leading the way. And the nice thing is, because this is all linked, as we saw earlier, you can wander around back here and I can show you the crew space and the engine room. Now, many of these boats will be owner run, but there will be some markets, some customers who like to see a crew cabin on a boat of this size. So here it is. And you know what? It's all right. Headroom's pretty good in here. It's got a reasonable sized single berth. There's a microwave and a sink and some storage and a bit of natural light. This is also where your laundry facilities are. There's a washer dryer down there. There's a bathroom tucked behind this engine room door here with a shower in it, and that's quite useful not just for crew, because obviously you're right next to the bathing platform. So if you need to use the toilet, you need for a swim, drop down here, you can go in there. Of course, as the owner, just wander around to your cabin and go to the toilet. Another pretty unique thing about this design. The other thing about this area is it's directly connected to the engine room, so let's head in there. Now clearly it's not always practical to get into the engine room via the bathing platform, especially when you're at sea. So they've included this access point as well. This comes down from the cockpit, down this ladder, and you're straight down into the action. And it's an impressive space. Again, headroom's excellent. These are the two Volvo engines. You have the MENs, as I said. But even with these big lumps, there's still a reasonable amount of space around them. Very easy to work over them too. And everything falls to hand pretty comfortably as well. You've got your raw water strainers down there. Fuel filters on either side, not with clear bowls, so you can't see the fuel by eye, but easy enough to work on the filters themselves. You can hear the generator whirring away behind me, and there's stabilization options in the form of a gyro as well. So even with all of this kit inside this space, there's a good amount of room. Should be relatively easy to look after. There's so much pressure to innovate for the Galeon design team, but doing it in a way that doesn't just feel like they're doing it for the sake of it. But I think they have really nailed the brief with this 620. The additions of those balconies down there, which is no mean feat to make that all work, is such a valuable addition to the overall package. I think you will spend so much time down there by the water, and then the genius idea of connecting it to the owner's cabin. There is nothing in the sector really that can compete with this thing when it comes to innovation on board. I hope it was worth the wait for you guys, and glad we managed to cover it for you. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks very much for watching that tour. I do hope you enjoyed it. Give the video a like if you did, and remember to subscribe if you haven't done so already. There is another boat on the channel which has that direct access to the owner's cabin from a balcony. It's the wider 92. I'll put that up there for you if you want to watch that. Thanks again for watching this one. I'll see you next time. I'm Jack. This is YachtBuyer.